Abby Gross. I'm a high school English, journalism, and newspaper teacher in Indiana. I'm so excited that you're tuning in today to learn about keeping the wonder in the secondary setting. I love creating engaging activities that keep the wonder and the magic in high school, but I love it even more when those ideas are simple and low prep. I do occasionally spend extra hours prepping a more elaborate, creative lesson plan, and that's all great when I have the time. But I've honestly found that a lot of my most engaging creative lessons are my most simple or late night or spontaneous ideas. So today's tip is going to help you create the wonder with just a little bit of prep. The strategy that I want to share with you today is one of my tried and true favorites for making just about anything more engaging, magical, kinesthetic, interactive, and student-centered, all that good stuff. So you may have heard of this before, but I think my definition of it is very open-ended, and I promise you, you can use this for just about anything. So what I'm talking about is a gallery walk.
Gallery walks are a simple, student-centered way to keep the wonder in learning.
So gallery walks are very similar to learning stations, and if you know me, you know I love my learning stations, but think of them as stations without the commitment or maybe like the cool cousin to learning stations. Basically, they are stations but with less structure and with less work for you as the teacher. When I say less work and less structure, I mean that in the best way possible. So when you do a little bit less as a teacher, it forces your students to do more. So they're doing more thinking, more learning, more wondering, and that's empowering.
So what exactly is a gallery walk?
Gallery walks will look different for everyone, but the main concept is that different artifacts are posted around the room. Now, those artifacts could be images or political cartoons, different excerpts or quotes or questions, mentor text, anything that you can put up around the room.
So this is the basic structure of a gallery walk. Once you have your artifacts around the room, then students will be rotating through the gallery of artifacts, and then you will want to incorporate some kind of discussion or writing along with the artifacts.
The most important part of a gallery walk is what the students are doing with those artifacts. And you can structure this however you would like, depending on your objective. So you could have students writing at each artifact. You could have them simply discussing. You could also have them add post-it notes with their thoughts to each artifact, and then that would create a growing collection of ideas and thoughts around each artifact or question. Another option is a silent gallery walk, where instead of talking at each artifact, the students are writing down their thoughts and their responses on some kind of bigger paper. And then this also allows them to rotate back through and then respond to their peers. Some of my gallery walks are very structured and students are writing down answers at each artifact, whereas others are more go with the flow. Students are walking around, there is no written task, but then it leads to a whole class discussion at the end. So you really have to think about your objective and what you want to accomplish, and depending on that, then you can tweak the structure of the gallery walk. I'm convinced that you can use a gallery walk for just about anything, but here are my favorite tried and true ways to use them.
I love using gallery walks for mentor text because it's so simple but yet so effective.
All you have to do is find examples of mentor text and hang them up around your room, and then ask students one powerful question. What do you notice? By leaving that question so vague and open-ended, you are giving students the freedom to notice anything and everything, and I promise you, you'll be so surprised at all of the details that they can pick up on just by observing these mentor texts in a gallery walk.
Another great way to use a gallery walk is to find thematically relevant quotes that relate to essential questions or a novel's theme and post those around the room for students to analyze and discuss.
You could also find quotes from a novel or a text that you are studying and use that as a way to scaffold symbolism or some other literary element. Just by exposing the students to the quotes in the gallery walk, then you could have a richer class discussion or better group work for the analysis after that.
A gallery walk is the perfect way to introduce pre-reading historical context with images, artifacts, and primary source documents.
So instead of telling students everything they need to know about the historical context, you are giving them a chance to understand it and to put it all in their own words first, which then allows you to go back through later and fill in any gaps in their understanding. Gallery walks are my go-to for discussing essential questions, whether for pre-reading or even pre-writing. I recently did this with our synthesis writing unit, and we discussed the questions as pre-writing, and then we were able to return to those conversations throughout the unit because I kept the posters hanging up around my room.
The questions in this pre-writing gallery walk were actually the prompts for their final papers. With a gallery walk, you can essentially flip vocab instruction and have students travel around the room to learn their new words. When I do this, I give my students a recording sheet and I have them write down the word, the definition, and then they either draw a picture or write a sentence, or they do something else with the word to make sure that they're learning them as they go. Here's an example, and guys, this is just my vocab slideshow printed out and posted around the room. Here are just a few more ideas. You can use gallery walks for book talks or student presentations. You can use them for highlighting key excerpts from novels. I like to do this with characters. Before we read, I pull out key excerpts and have the students make inferences, and I call it a character meet and greet. Really, you can almost take any old PowerPoint or worksheet or boring activity and turn it into a gallery walk. If you can print off those slides or organize that information and create different artifacts around the room, then you've got yourself a gallery walk. So I love gallery walks because you don't have to reinvent the wheel. It's just a new way of organizing the information and structuring the discussion or reflection with the students. Gallery walks are just a great chance for students to show you what they know, and that's why they're so powerful. So the next time you feel tempted to deliver a lecture or a mini lesson, give the students a chance with a gallery walk. Let them construct their meaning, let them wonder, let them do the hard work, and then you can fill in the gaps later. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I cannot wait to see everyone at the live workshops or online back on this screen. So I hope you guys all have a great rest of your day, and good luck keeping the wonder in your classroom.